All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to True Crime Loser. I hope you're doing well. Real quick, I don't do this enough, so I wanted to take a second to thank everybody that supports this channel on Patreon and on PayPal. There's links in the description if you would like to. I don't put any ads on my videos just because I don't want to deal with YouTube having a say in what I say, and so it really is all because of you guys. Thank you so much. And to the people that can't, but also participate by liking and commenting, that's huge too. I watched a YouTube video the other day, and the guy told everyone to smash the like button maybe 40 times in a 10-minute video. He was like, smash that like button, and then if you wouldn't mind just smashing that like button. And then if you could, don't forget to smash that like button and then smash that like button. And I was like, what even is this? What kind of video is this? I don't have to do any of that, and you guys kill it for me. So thank you so much. All right. Let's get into some updates. At first, it was a thing of like, let's do a Jussie Smollett update. But then it became a thing of like, oh, all right. So what's going on with Jussie? The special prosecutor has not been picked yet. If you remember, someone's going to come in, open up the whole thing, take a look at it, take a look at Kim Foxx's handling of it, but they haven't picked one yet. It says a few people have turned down the job, which I wonder if it's because of political pressure or just not wanting to deal with the pressure of it. I don't know. I figured that there would be people jumping at the bit to take it because just the way a defense attorney would want a high-profile, career-making case, I figured a prosecutor would too. And recently, Jussie Smollett's brother and sister were on People Magazine's YouTube channel. They do like a little show where they interview. And so Jussie's sister and brother are sitting there on the couch doing the I'm on TV smile. You know, they're introducing them. We're sitting here today with, you know, whatever their names are, the Smollett family. And they're sitting there smiling like, we're on TV. This is a great day for my career. I'm smiling. I'm on TV. And then the interviewer goes, "Well, let's just get the elephant out of the room and ask the tough question." And they're still smiling. And he goes, "How is your brother Jussie Smollett doing? We haven't heard from him in a while." And as he's starting to ask the question about their brother, their smile goes from smiling to a wince. Like their face is still smiling, but you can tell they've been taught, like, all right, hunker down. They're asking about Jussie. Keep smiling. Yeah, we're good. It's good. It's like it's funny that the smile can just look like such a, and so they go, "How's Jussie?" And his sister goes, "Yeah, he's doing well. You know, he's fine." Because that's what you say when someone's actually doing well, is he's doing well. He's doing fine. Mm-hmm. He is strong. He's still thriving. Thriving? I don't even think he has a job. He's an unemployed ball of shame that has to hide. He can't tweet. He has zero voice. He has nothing. So, I mean, maybe he's thriving at, like, sitting alone on the couch, Googling his name. That's another thing. All these documents and stuff came out, and it showed his search history, and in the days after the attack, he Googled his name, Jussie Smollett, more than 50 times. So picture him. He does this, or allegedly, does this hate crime, or he allegedly gets attacked by these crazy racists, and then afterwards he's just sitting in his apartment frantically Googling his own name, just being like, oh God, Jussie Smollett. What do people think of me? Do people believe me? Oh God, no. At first. And so she goes, he's still thriving, you know? And he's still standing in his truth. So thank you for asking. Thank you for asking. At first, it was a thing of like, I'm standing in my truth. But then it became a thing of like, oh, no one else is standing in my truth. But then it became a thing of like, oh, I think I got a little bit of truth on my shoe. But then it became a thing of like, if you're standing in your truth and I'm standing in my truth, then can you feel the truth? And then the interviewer goes, what's Jussie's next move? She goes, yeah, he's got a lot in the works. Just a lot. He's really... The old works are filled with a lot for Smollett. You know, he's got a lot of things on the thing. And then they go, when will he be answering the public's questions? And they go, well, that's up to him. Can't see that happening. And they go, oh, we're just glad that the documents have been unsealed and his story has been corroborated 4 times over. And I don't know what her definition of corroborated or 4 is, but I feel bad for his family. I don't think I would stick up. Like, if my sister pulled something like that in an interview, I'd be like, I know, I love my sister. She's great, but she tanked when it came to this whole thing. So... hopefully, you know, I'd be like, so hopefully she can come out on the other side, but she really blew it on this one. Anyway, let's move on. I think that's a better way to handle it than sitting there wince smiling, going, he's got a lot in the works. You know, he's doing good and he's thriving. He's thriving. Nothing like a thriving brother to make you feel good in an interview. So there's my Smollett update at first. Let's move on. All right, next we're going to talk about Jeffrey Epstein. Hi, I'm Jeffrey Epstein. I need a massage. I'm Jeffrey. Call me Jeffrey. So early last week, Epstein appeared in court to see if he was going to get bond, and a couple of his Florida victims floated themselves up to New York City and spoke at the bond hearing and saying, this guy is too dangerous. And the judge said, that he needed, after listening to these victims, he said he needs more time and pushed it off a couple days. And then Thursday of last week, he said no bond. He's staying in jail, which Epstein's attorneys were fighting for. They said they'd put his $77 million mansion that we're going to go and look at later this afternoon. I'll bring you along. So they were going to put the $77 million mansion up against it. They were going to promise that he grounded his plane. Hey, we promise, okay? The plane is grounded, all right? Come on. He's going to stay in the mansion. He'll have an ankle bracelet. We'll keep that ankle bracelet on because, you know, as we know, they can just be easily removed. He'll wear an ankle bracelet. He'll sit in the mansion. And the judge was like, nope, too dangerous, too much of a flight risk, no bond. And then since then, his team of lawyers have filed something to appeal that. One thing I am interested about this case is just following what his lawyers do, because supposedly he's got all the money in the world to get the best lawyer. So I'm interested in seeing their strategy or what they have up their sleeve and what they can do. What else on Epstein? Anything? Sorry for the pause, people. I've had head injuries. Things are getting foggy. My bad. Oh yeah. They searched that house. That's the townhouse that we're gonna go look at today, and they found in a safe a bunch of child porn and a bunch of cash. I heard like 56 million. Don't quote me though, because I may have remembered that wrong. But just think, in cash, a bunch of child porn, a bunch of cash, and then probably the most interesting, a passport with his picture. And they didn't say a fake passport, so I think this is a real passport issued by a country with his picture, a different name, and a Saudi Arabian address. I mean, does it get any sketchier? And then they weirdly didn't say what country issued it. They were like, we're holding off on who issued the passport. My guess would be either Israel or the United States of America. But a true issued passport with a fake name and a Saudi Arabian address is just crazy. Blows my mind. But like I said, we're going to go and check out that later today. All right, moving on. The Delphi case, which, if you remember, Abby and Libby were brutally murdered by some dumbass. The guy walking on the bridge, and they got a little clip of his voice, and I met the parents of Abby and Libby at CrimeCon and listened to them speak, so I feel like I'm following this one pretty closely. And so some good news and possibly some good news and bad news. The good news is they may have a lead on a new suspect. The bad news is he killed himself. And this guy, Paul Etter, E-T-T-E-R, Paul Etter, kidnapped and raped a poor woman that was changing her tire, which sort of fits the same bill of just vulnerable woman. And then he walks up. And so that was last month. And then the police closed in on him. I don't really know how. He ended up with a standoff and killed himself. And then they asked for his DNA after that to try to link him to this one. And so that, to me, they'd never really said if they had DNA in the Abby and Libby, which seems like they do, so that's good. And hopefully this DNA comes back and it's him. And the sad part is he killed himself, and he's not going to have to answer for it or hear Abby and Libby's parents call him a piece of shit. And so that's a bummer, but the good news is just the person in that part of the country that's awful would be gone. So I'm going to be following that one. I'll give you another update as soon as that DNA comes in. All right, and last but not least, a little bonus, not even in the title, is let's talk about old Chrissy Poo Watts. If they're somewhere and, like, they're not safe, then I just want them to be safe. I just, want them to come home. Chris! It was old Cindy Watts' 64th birthday, and I guess HLN, I had no idea until a fan of the show told me yesterday that someone commented, there's new Chris Watts information, and I haven't been following it. For a while, I was following some of the insane Chris Watts videos that are still coming out on YouTube. Like, there's this one psychic lady that I was kind of just guilty pleasure watching. Someone sent it to me where she's like, Shanann contacted me on vacation, and now I'm making a video about it. And it's like, shut up, lady. Just admit that you're fascinated with the case, just like all of us. Must be nice to be like, I'm a psychic and Shanann is telling me to do a video. Because all of us just have to be like, why am I so fascinated by this case? And just have to deal with it on a level of we're not special at all. We're just into it. But I guess HLN, they made a reenactment documentary called Killer Dad, Chris Watts Speaks. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to see some guy reenact. But it's getting criticism, and as far as the criticism, I don't know. I wouldn't let yourself go on this roller coaster anymore, because so in it he sends Cindy Watts a letter on her 64th birthday, and in it he goes, "I'm still a dad!" exclamation point. "I'm still a dad!" exclamation point. That's a strange sentence to write when you're in Chris Watts' situation. "I'm still a dad!" exclamation point. "I'm still a son!" exclamation point. That's true. You're already overusing the exclamation point, though. I mean, maybe once in a whole book, but already twice in 2 sentences? Chris, come on. It's going to lose its, "I'm still a dad, I'm still a son, no matter what. And now I can add servant of God to that mix." Exclamation point 3. And now I can add servant of God to that mix. Chris, you're a boner. To that mix. Yeah, I'm just a mix between a dad and a son and a servant of God. Just mixing it up, baby. Just a nice, sad mix of servant of God. You're not a servant of God, Chris. You live in a concrete fart hole where you read stories to pictures of the kids that you murdered. It's hard to make an argument that you're still a dad, and you are still a son, not a great son, because you're not there to help your family. You know, as your mom is getting older, she's 64, wouldn't it be nice if you would be out helping her and able to maybe support her a little bit instead of just, you know. But my point is, don't go on the roller coaster. It's just not worth it. You're never going to be happy with anything that comes out. No, the only way that people would be happy is if he goes, "Dear Mom, happy 64th birthday. I am awful. Also, Nicole helped me, and I will testify." Like, what do people want? Of course he's going to say stuff like this to his mom in the birthday letter. And so just knowing that he lives in a concrete hell fart box, and he's just getting old and wasting away while we feed him shit macaroni that's the only thought that I need moving forward. And there's going to be people that keep covering it because they don't have anything else. You know, if they post about Chris Watts, it gets 30,000 views. And if they post about anything else, it gets 800 views. And so they're stuck, which is sort of a Chris Watts prison in its own way. But anyway, that's where I'm going to cut it off. Stay tuned. We're going to go check out Epstein's mansion. I'm really curious how close I can get, what the doors look like. Are they smashed in? But yeah, we'll go check it out. Hope you're having a good day. I'll see you next time. Why? Steven, why? Schmiede.